Get ready for the Great North Wrestling Podcast, the official podcast of the Hannibal TV, Canada's #1 pro wrestling YouTube channel, with your host, GNW wrestler and the Hannibal TV lead reporter, Devin Hannibal Nicholson.
This is Hannibal here for the Great North Wrestling Podcast, October the 25th, 2017. Today we have former WWE superstar and current Bellator MMA and Impact Wrestling star Bobby Lashley speaking to us, promoting the upcoming November 6th to 10th Impact Wrestling tapings in Ottawa at TD Place, the Aberdeen Pavilion. And if you want to get 50% off your tickets to the Impact Wrestling tapings in Ottawa, use the promo code GNW Impact, that is GNW IMPACT, to get 50% off your Impact Wrestling tickets when you buy them from the tdplace.ca website. So again, 50% off your Impact Wrestling tickets for their TV tapings here November 6th to 10th in Ottawa at TD Place. tdplace.ca is where you can get the tickets, and again, the promo code is GNW Impact. Now, before those TV tapings take place, November the 5th, this Sunday at 1 p.m., it's Great North Wrestling, Afternoon of Champions, 30 minutes away from the Impact Zone in Ottawa. It is going to be at the Jean-Marc Lalonde Arena, Rockland, Ontario. Me versus Savio Vega with the Canadian Championship on the line. Of course, Savio Vega is a WWE legend, Puerto Rico wrestling legend, and he was the leader of Los Boricuas in the WWE. He also played the role of Quang, the ninja. But he's going to have his hands full fighting me. This goes back a long way, this match. I've known him for about 15 years or so. He's always ducked and dodged me. I beat up his old Los Boricuas stablemate Miguel Perez in Puerto Rico all the way back in 2005. I beat him and bloodied him, left him laying on a bathroom floor. Savio didn't do anything about it then. And he's going to have a similar or worse fate November 5th at 1 p.m. at Afternoon of Champions in Rockland. Of course, the other championship match that afternoon is going to be a women's championship match. GNW Women's Champion of Canada, Lady Yasmin, is going to be in a triangle match against Alani Iolana, who defeated her by countout recently in Napanee. And Tessa Blanchard, the third-generation superstar who has made numerous appearances on the WWE Network recently, and there's heavy rumors she might be going to WWE soon, and she wouldn't be the first wrestler to wrestle in Great North Wrestling and then go to WWE soon after. That just happened with Shelton Benjamin, and you can see that match that Shelton Benjamin had in Great North Wrestling if you go to The Hannibal TV on YouTube. And of course, the last Women's Championship of Canada match between Lady Yasmin and Alani Iolana is also on our The Hannibal TV YouTube channel, as well as the full Napanee event. So lots of great things on The Hannibal TV, 43,000 subscribers, almost 30 million total views. And of course, before we stop talking about the Rockland event, let's talk about the third championship match that night. It's going to be for the first ever The Hannibal TV Great North Wrestling World Television Champion. He will be crowned. It's going to be one person. It's going to be a 30-man battle royal to decide who that person will be. Former Canadian champion, former Impact Wrestling star Wes Briscoe, who is the son of WWE Hall of Famer Gerald Briscoe, is going to be in that battle royal. Of course, Wes is also the nephew of former world champion Jack Briscoe. Three-time WWE Tag Team Champion Quebecer Pierre-Carl Ouellet is also going to be in that battle royal, as well as two-time Canadian Champion Jeremy Prophet. They're going to be among the stars in that battle royal, along with guys like Freak Nation, the Bruiser, the list goes on and on. Jebediah Tatum's going to be in that, the Spoiler. It's going to be a great event. Tickets for that event are on sale now at ticketweb.ca. The Snap Fitness location in Rockland, or Jumbo Pizza in Rockland. So again, Great North Wrestling, November 5th at 1 p.m. Tickets are at ticketweb.ca. Snap Fitness in Rockland or Jumbo Pizza in Rockland. Advanced tickets start at just $15 or buy 4 for $40. You can also get them at the door for an additional $5. There will be alcohol available at that event, and that event is going to kick off a great week of wrestling in the Ottawa area. As I said, Rockland is only 30 minutes from the Impact Wrestling venue, and Impact Wrestling is going to be in Ottawa November 6th to November 10th doing TV tapings. And again, tdplace.ca is where you can get tickets for Impact Wrestling. Promo code GNW Impact to get 50% off those tickets. So without any further ado, we're just going to take a short break. And when we come back, we're going to have our interview with Bobby Lashley. So definitely subscribe to this podcast, greatnorthwrestling.podomatic.com. We're now also on iTunes. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to The Hannibal TV on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at GNWWRESTLING. That's GNW Wrestling. Instagram, GN Wrestling. And of course, Facebook, Great North Wrestling. So when we come back, you're going to hear from the man who fights in Bellator MMA and is going to be appearing on the Impact Wrestling tapings in Ottawa, along with John Morrison, Alberto Del Rio, Gail Kim, many more stars, Bobby Lashley.
Fusion IT presents ferociously fierce, unforgivingly intense, and ruthlessly riveting, Canada's premier action-packed pro wrestling promotion. Great North Wrestling returns to the Jean-Marc Lalonde Arena in Rockland, Ontario on Sunday, November 5th at 1 p.m. for Afternoon of Champions, our final event of 2017. The main event features WWE legend and Puerto Rican wrestling icon Savio Vega of Los Boricuas, who has the audacity, the boldness, and the competitive spirit to challenge the Canadian champion Hannibal the Death Dealer for the most prized title in Canadian wrestling. Yes, the Great North Wrestling Canadian Championship belt. Hashtag Great North Wrestling. The Women's Championship of Canada will be on the line in a triangle three-way match as champion Lady Yasmin is challenged by third-generation star Tessa Blanchard, who has recently made appearances on the WWE Network, and the vicious and violent Elani Iolana from the Fiji Islands, managed by the enigmatic and defiant Dark Cash. The first ever Great North Wrestling World Television Champion will be crowned in a 30-man battle royal featuring such wrestlers as three-time WWE Tag Team Champion Quebecer Pierre Carwallet, former Canadian Champion and former Impact Wrestling star Wes Briscoe, two-time Canadian Champion Jeremy Prophet, Freak Nation Sideshow Jack and Madman Taylor, Nathan Banner, the Hawkesbury Spoiler Guy Gagne, the Heartthrob Stunning Steven and Fabulous Jacques, Jebediah Tatum from the Ottawa Valley, Ottawa's own Bruiser, the British brawler Ad Hutchinson from the UK, and many, many more stars. The ring will be rocking with mixed tag team action. Rockland's own wrestling couple Michael Von Payton and Misty Haven will square off against The Mountain, Vanessa Craven, and Evil Uno. Plus, more matches to be announced. Meet and greets and alcohol will be available on the arena floor for fans of legal age with proper ID. Get your advance tickets today for just $15 each, or buy 4 for $40 online through ticketweb.ca or in person at Jumbo Pizza Rockland and Snap Fitness Rockland. Tickets will also be available at the door. The event will be hosted by the Steel Warrior Yves Drouin and recorded for video release on GNW's The Hannibal TV YouTube channel and television release on Télé Les Enrages du Ring documentary series. Great North Wrestling in Rockland. Don't you dare miss the action. Visit greatnorthwrestling.ca for more information. Hannibal TV here in Ottawa with Lashley. How you doing?
Fantastic.
So first and foremost, I want to ask you about your wrestling career, in particular your freestyle wrestling career.
Oh.
So you almost made it to the Olympics, yes, and you got injured.
Well, it was in 2003. I was in a bank robbery.
Yes.
And I was training at the Olympic Training Center. I was in PATH. I mean, that was the ultimate goal. You know, no one actually makes the team until you make the team. But I think I was in a good place. I was third at World Team Trials that year, and then right after that, I got back to bank robbery and did it all.
Do you still think about the Olympics? Is that something that still motivates you in terms of? Do you still daydream about that, or have any thoughts about that dream?
My biggest thing is just amateur wrestling. I love amateur wrestling, and I try to teach kids right now. But you know, I always look at one door closes, another door opens, and at the time I thought that was the only path that I had. But when that door closed because of the robbery, the WWE door opened up, and then pro wrestling started. So I never looked back. I never kind of looked back and say that something didn't go out that way. I still watch it. I still cheer for some of the guys that are still doing it, but I think I'm happy with the decision that I made up to this point.
So you're still tracking and watching international wrestling, yes? What do you think about Kyle Snyder?
The dude's amazing, amazing, just amazing everything that he's been doing. I don't know where's the limit for it. But then I'm also a big Jordan Burroughs. I think our team just won the world this year, right?
Yep.
So, with that being said, I mean, there's so many amazing wrestlers on that roster.
Do you think Snyder and Burroughs? I know Burroughs mentioned that he will cross over into mixed martial arts. Do you think Kyle Snyder will cross over into mixed martial arts? He's very young, but he has a long career in international wrestling. Well, what are your thoughts on him possibly crossing over into mixed martial arts?
It could be good. You never know. You never know until we get over there, because you take somebody like Stephen Mako. Stephen Mako crossed over also, and he's more coaching for American Top Team. Good friend of mine. I thought Stephen Mako has the opportunity to be the greatest in MMA, just because his work ethic and how he wrestles. And I think Snyder's the same thing. I think Snyder, if he comes in there, decides what kind of weight class he wants to be in, and then gets his striking together, he's going to be a force to reckon with.
Now, as far as Ronda Rousey and her possible transition into professional wrestling, what are your thoughts on her crossing over into WWE?
I love it. I think Ronda's awesome. I think she's amazing. I mean, she did some big things for the UFC and the women's division, and I think just wherever she goes, you know, people are going to follow. And that's what professional wrestling is. It's about putting asses in the seats, that's what we call it. And that's what she can do. If Ronda goes over to WWE, there's going to be a lot of people that follow over to watch her.
Are you familiar with Kayla Harrison? She's a U.S. first ever gold medalist in judo. She used to train with Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. I saw her, yes.
What are your thoughts about her crossing over into mixed martial arts?
I thought when she was asked the first time, she said she wasn't going to do it. But, I mean, if she does it, I mean, more power to her. For me, because of my career and things that I've done, I tell anybody, if you want to do something, just do it. And if that's what she wants to do, I think more power to her. I hope she goes to a good camp, and I hope she becomes successful with it.
Now, as a professional wrestler who's crossed over into mixed martial arts, you've been one of the most successful ones in terms of your record, right? And you decided to focus on the smaller shows. You took a back step and said, no, let me focus on the smaller leagues before building up. Why did you do that?
I did it because I didn't want to be someone that just went in there and pushed my way in because of my name in the background. So at first, you have no opportunity. You have no chance. You have to. My first match, I main evented in American Airlines Arena in Miami. Too big of a step. Most fighters do a handful of amateur fights. I didn't want to do any amateur fights because I had to get paid. You know, I had to feed my kids, and for all the money and effort that I was going to put into it, I wanted to be for it. So I didn't take any amateur fights, but I still thought that after I got in there for my first couple fights, I felt like I wanted to be more of a more well-rounded mixed martial artist. So I took a back seat and I kind of went to some of the smaller shows and got some fights in there, because when you get in that cage originally, man, it's no matter how good you are, there's nerves and just settling and everything like that. And I wanted to make sure that I felt comfortable in the ring. And after I took that back seat and I went to some of these smaller shows, when I came back over to Bellator, I felt really comfortable, and I feel really comfortable fighting now. But I did the same thing with wrestling. When I was in WWE, thrust into the big show right. I mean, I was in WrestleMania my second year in professional wrestling. So with that being said, after I left WWE, I went and did a lot of independence also, and honed my craft, and then came back. So right now, I take a back step from both of these businesses, and then and kind of build myself back up, and now I'm running. Now with Bellator and Impact, I mean, I think I'm in the right place.
Now, you trained with Josh Barnett, yeah?
Yes.
Is he your original sensei, more or less, before you crossed over to ATT?
I've trained with a lot of different people. I started out with AKA. I started out with some of those guys, Crazy Bob Cook and Dwayne Zinkin and those guys over there. They're good friends of mine. But just because I live in Denver and I had kids, I had to be more strategic with my training. So I went down to American Top Team. And American Top Team with Laborio and Conan and just everybody over there, Dan Lambert, the whole crew over there. I mean, you're talking about going into a room where there's 60, 70 high-level fighters at all times to go and train with. So I look at those as my team, but yes, Josh Barnett, I look at him as a mentor. Josh Barnett, I believe he is brilliant in mixed martial arts. And just his knowledge, whenever I go down there, we just sit down, we put together a good game plan, and we don't have to go through a whole bunch of fluff. He's like, this is what we need to do, X, Y, Z. And every time when I've had a camp with him, it's been super successful.
Has he been able to take you down while sparring?
Not never.
I've heard that, yeah. No, he didn't say that. I heard he's unable to take you down.
Right. Josh is cool, man. Me and Josh, we always joke about different things, and yeah, we go rounds. Josh is an incredible wrestler, but that's the one thing I have over.
Now, I think you've got 8 submission finishes, 4 of which are due to the Americana Udagarami. Is that due to Josh Barnett's influence?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We keep it basic. I mean, I feel that no matter who I go against, I can take him down. No matter who I go against. And if I can take it down on the ground, I think I'm hard to deal with on the ground. And to just keep it simple, the catch wrestling style. Catch wrestling style is just perfect for me. That's why I go to see Josh.
So would you describe yourself as a catch wrestler in mixed martial arts in the same spirit as Josh Barnett?
Yeah, I absolutely like. If you look at the jiu-jitsu style, I mean, I do jiu-jitsu and I roll with some of those guys, but I'm technically a blue belt in jiu-jitsu. But I think I'm a higher level in catch wrestling.
Sure. Brock Lesnar is also a blue belt, and both of you have never crossed paths in professional wrestling or mixed martial arts. I believe both of you have never met. Is that correct?
Right. You did your homework.
Hey man, it's Hannibal TV.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
it's. Make sure if you're watching right now, make sure you subscribe, make sure you comment, make sure you share this interview. HannibalTV.com. Now, when will we see Bobby Lashley face Brock Lesnar? Is that going to happen? Because I think everyone wants to see this.
Yeah, it's not on me. It's on him. Right now.
Why don't you tell him right now? Hey Brock, tell him.
I'm not the type to call people.
Brock.
I have mad respect for Brock, and I have mad respect for everybody in the fight business and in the wrestling business. But I think it's just one of those things that need to be done. You know, there's big matchups all the way across the board. They looked at Brock fighting John Jones. That was one thing that was talked about. Everybody was like, "Oh, that's awesome." Floyd Mayweather fighting Conor. Oh, that's these are different matchups that people want to see. And I think right now people are starting to move more into that entertainment aspect of wanting to see those different contests and different matchups. And Brock and myself, whether it's in professional wrestling or whether it's in a fight, I think it needs to be done.
So you're saying that the onus is on him to make it happen?
Him or Paul Heyman.
How would you do against him in a mixed martial arts fight? How would you do?
Until the fight happens, no one knows. I think I would do well. I think our styles are very similar, and I think that it's going to be tit for tat in a lot of ways.
Okay. So what are your thoughts on CM Punk and his transition, his attempted transition into the sport of professional mixed martial arts?
Like I said before, I like it. I like it, man. It's one of those things where I think we have to start encouraging people to step out of their comfort zone and start doing new things. Like a lot of people, anything anybody does new, there's a bunch of naysayers. And when Punk came out there, everybody was like, "Oh man, Punk's gonna get killed. Punk's gonna this, Punk's that." I was like, man, you know what? At least Punk steps out there and steps out of his comfort zone and tries something new. I mean, I'm trying everything, and because that little joke. YOLO, you only live once. And that's true, man. You got to do as many things as you can. Like, I try to travel this world. I try to meet as many people as I can. I'll fight. I'll wrestle. You know what? We talked earlier about amateur wrestling. I'm really considering getting into amateur wrestling and hitting some more tournaments up. I'm looking at going to do some jiu-jitsu tournaments. I'm looking to do everything, man, because at
Jiu-jitsu with gi or no gi?
Either way, because I do both. I roll with them and without. So to me, it doesn't really matter. The thing is, I think that instead of having so many naysayers that are saying, "Oh, you can't do this," they're trying to like discourage you to try something new. I think because if you think about it, if we have all these, I'm gonna keep using that word, naysayers, that always say you can't do this, you can't do this, then people don't even try anything. So we don't have people reach their limits or find something new and enjoy something new. I could care less. I don't read the naysayers, the trash talkers on the internet. I don't even pay no attention to. If I want to fight, I'm gonna fight. If I want to go play golf, I'm gonna go play golf. If I want to do jiu-jitsu, wrestle, anything, I'm gonna do whatever I want to do. Punk lost his first fight. He tried, okay? And they say that he's gonna take another fight. I'm like, more power to you, man. Go out there and fight. Shit, if you lose, it doesn't even matter, because like that's the difference that we have here in the United States. Everybody wants to be a critic without the actual accolades to be a critic. When you go to other countries, like let's say Japan. When I go to Japan, they don't care if you win or lose. They just want to see a good fight. If you go out there and train your ass up and go fight, then people should applaud you for no matter what. And that's the same thing that Punk did. Yeah, Punk got beat up his last fight. Who cares? He made a lot of money. He trained his ass off, and he stepped in that cage, man. And if he does it again, more power to you. I'll tell you, Punk, if you have an opportunity, get back out there and fight again. Fight anybody. I don't care. I mean, good opponents for him, shit. Fight BJ Penn. BJ Penn is, BJ Penn's a legend. Go out there and fight a big name. Fight Matt Hughes. I don't care who you fight. Just go out there and do it, man. To me, it kills me that because of the internet and because of different things right now, that everybody just wants to bash and badmouth anybody for trying to do something new while they're sitting on their couch doing nothing.
I don't think everyone is bashing. I do understand what you're saying. For sure, there's naysayers. What about Kurt Angle? He's been he's been very influential in your career.
Absolutely.
Speak on Kurt Angle in terms of influencing your career from the beginning, and answer the question as to how would have Kurt done in the UFC had he crossed over a decade plus ago.
I think Kurt would have been amazing, and Kurt proved himself. I always looked up to Kurt, and I looked up to Kurt way before WWE. I looked up to Kurt when I was in high school, and I was watching him win, because I remember I had on this tape of Kurt getting ready to wrestle in the finals of college NCAA's, and they did a whole story leading up on the guy that he was going against. And then Kurt went out there and beat him. Kurt was a machine. And then afterwards he went to the Olympic Training Center. And arguably, it wasn't even so much for everybody else. They say Kurt was an Olympic champion, so they talked about how great it was that he won the Olympics. For me, his bracket
with a broken neck.
With a broken neck. But his bracket in the United States was probably as tough as the Olympics. Man, he had some of the top wrestlers in the entire country going in there. And Kurt beat all those guys. Kurt's a machine. So if Kurt would have went on and fought, I think Kurt would have did great.
Now, we're seeing a lot of crossover, obviously, between professional wrestlers, between mixed martial artists into the sport of professional wrestling, a lot of which is coming through Bellator. Speak on that and your opinion as to why this is happening.
I think it's happening because the fighting, I think right now, guys are looking for a different way. Because right now, in the fighting world, it's one of those things where all the promoters want to say, oh, we're here for the fighters. They're not. The fighters are there for the fighters. And that's all that matters. And sometimes when you sign a contract with one of these companies, they own you. And when they own you, they can do what they want with you, and they can pay you what they want. They don't look at the fighter's best interest. There's a few people that actually get catered to, and then everybody else is just trying to find their way. And with that being said, they're training all the time. They're getting ready for fights. They want to be able to support their families, support themselves with it. And right now, they're not able to do it. So these guys are looking for alternate sources of income. And if you're looking at the only income source that you have is fighting, and you're not making that much, then you're looking at working another job over here, or you're doing all kinds of different things. I think professional wrestling is still in the same line of what we're doing. It's still combat sports, and it's still sports entertainment. So I think that's what's bringing these guys over.
Great. Well, thank you very much for your time. And if you want to tell our fans to subscribe to the Hannibal TV.
Absolutely, fans. Make sure you subscribe to Hannibal TV. Great interview, and it's good talking to you, man.
Thank you very much, sir.
Absolutely.
That's all for this episode of the Great North Wrestling Podcast. Be sure to visit thehannibaltv.com for Great North Wrestling news, links, and live event information. Subscribe to the Hannibal TV on YouTube and subscribe to the GNW Podcast at greatnorthwrestling.podomatic.com for instant downloads of our latest audio content.